are several different forms of martial arts out there. This morning, Ansley Watson is focusing on one in particular. Ansley is at Lake Effect Jiu Jitsu to see what kind of new things she's picking up today. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. I just stepped into this ring here and like a feeling of empowerment just went over me. I'm like, oh my goodness, kind of getting nervous. Like I feel like I'm going to get in a fight or something. But this morning we were at Lake Effect Jiu Jitsu where we're going to learn all about this amazing self-defense tactic and sport. It originally started in Japan, but not until it moved to Brazil is when it kind of morphed into the sport that we know about it as Jiu Jitsu today. So this morning they actually have an early morning class that's going to be coming in. We're going to maybe join in and see what we can learn, see what's going to happen. So check us out. Stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right. Sounds like we're going to get a kick out of this one. Thank you very much, Ansley. And of course, it also means that, Sam, you better watch your back.
You know what? If she makes it back in one piece, then I'll start worrying.
Well, I know you have a tendency to like to try to scare her, so
yeah.
She might be, picking up some stuff.
Have a reaction
right.
to scare.
Her self-defense as of now is fall on the ground and scream. So I feel pretty confident as of now.
It's worked.
Fight or flight, she's a flight person.
That is very true.
Whether for self-defense or competition, Jiu-Jitsu is gaining popularity. Now, Ansley Watson is at Lake Effect Jiu-Jitsu talking more about what's involved with this. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. I've already learned so much. The class is already here warming up. We'll get to see more of that later. It's very, very interesting stuff. Joining me this morning is one of the instructors, Nick Lauer. Thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks for joining me.
So there's many different forms of martial arts. Why is Jiu-Jitsu so different?
It's different, I think, because it's cerebral. It catches your mind and your body. Mm-hmm. It brings you into, like we were talking earlier, it brings you into the present moment where you're focused on here and now as opposed to what's going on in your day-to-day life.
Explain that a little more. What do you mean the here and now?
Because you're worried about what someone's doing to you and you're worried about what you're going to do to them. So you have to be a couple of steps out ahead of them. You have to be thinking and you have to be using your body all at the same time. So you're connecting your mind and your body at the same time to accomplish one goal, which doesn't happen in day-to-day life. You don't do that very often, and it's a different martial art because it's real. Mm-hmm. Most confrontations end up on the ground and end up with an attacker on you, and this is a way to defend yourself against that and to stop that and slow that down.
So this is all on the ground stuff. You're not standing up whenever you're defending yourself?
It starts, like in sport jiu-jitsu, it starts standing up.
Okay.
And most altercations start standing up. And so then it eventually shows you how to get you and your opponent to the ground, and then for you to be able to utilize yourself on top of the person on the ground safely.
What is what's so intriguing about learning jiu-jitsu?
You don't ever learn it. There's always something else out there. There's always another thing to learn. There's always another technique. It's evolving. It's ever evolving and it's ever changing. And so that kind of keeps you constantly chasing it.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier that this is actually a very humbling sport to get into. Why is that?
Because there's always somebody better out there. There's always somebody who's spent more time on the mat. There's always somebody who's invested more in it. And then when you run across that person, it's inspiring. Mm-hmm. It keeps you humble, it keeps your ego deflated, and it keeps you working harder to achieve that goal and to keep moving up.
Now, whenever I was thinking about this, I guess I mainly think that it's just for men and this is just like a guy sport, but you said anybody can do this, all ages even.
It's designed for a smaller person to defend themselves against a much larger person. Yeah, any age. We have a gentleman that started with us and he's 57 years old. So any age, it's good for females, it's great for smaller males, it's great for children, it's great for everybody.
Can I talk about how a smaller person can take on a bigger person? It baffles my mind of how this is possible.
Just using technique, using the techniques that are available to defend yourself against another human being. And in learning those techniques, you learn how to use anatomy against your attacker. You learn how to use their anatomy against themselves. So if they have a lot of pressure, if they're bullying you, if they're coming at you, you learn how to move their weight and move their body with their own force.
what's kind of going through your mind whenever you're practicing jiu-jitsu? What you said that you're kind of wanting to put your core on smaller parts of the body, smaller joints. You explained this earlier.
You're looking to be as efficient as possible. You're looking to use the core of your body or your larger muscle groups against someone else's smaller muscle groups. So it's efficient for you to slow your attacker down. So you're not using all your energy and you're not burning up all your resources in order to protect yourself.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about technique in the next one. You're going to maybe show me a little bit.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. This is really interesting for us. So we're learning some new things this morning.
Yeah, I like the, I don't want to call them outfits, but their apparel there. That's the cool part for me. I'd like to get my hands on one of those things. Walk around the newsroom.
Right.
Just
See
to
their
scare
warm-up
us?
Yeah.
background
Okay.
were great.
Yeah, just like jump out at people, and I'd lose, but I would look tough doing it.
Yeah, you would.
That's all that matters, right?
Right, that's how you
right.
look. Welcome back. Well, we're heading back over to Lake Effect Jiu Jitsu this morning to learn a little bit more about this form of martial arts. Ansley Watson is there now, trying to become a master. And Ansley, don't hurt anyone, especially yourself.
I'm not trying. You know what, Sam? I've been watching very intently, and I think I've picked up on a few things.
Safe.
I'm joined here with Nick Lauer, who's one of the instructors here. Good morning. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you.
Do you think that I could do this myself?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Anybody can do this.
Yeah.
This is designed for everyone.
If Nick has confidence in me, I have a lot of confidence in myself that I could. In fact, I want to point something out here. There's actually a couple of women here. Phoebe is actually 15, and Amanda, and they've come a long ways. I was just talking to them. They said that they feel very confident to go out and that they could do this.
Yeah.
Somebody even attacked them.
Yeah, for sure. It just gives them a certain sense of comfortability to be out in society. They still have the concerns and stuff like that, but it gives them an upper hand.
Yeah.
It gives them a certain sense of confidence that they're kind of training day in and day out against males and other people. And it's just giving them the confidence to know that they're going to be okay if something happens.
So do they grapple with the men in here?
They do, every single day. We
And-
all grapple together. We are all growing together. We're all learning together. It's not segregated. They are training together right now, but that's just because. It's not a segregated thing. It's everybody trains together. We all get better together.
Absolutely. So what technique are they doing right now? Kind of walk us through what's
We
happening.
are working on a straight arm lock. So Phoebe over there is trying to manipulate Amanda's arm. She's holding her down with chest pressure, and she's trying to manipulate the elbow. She's trying to hyperextend the elbow and get a submission.
Is this called something in particular?
A straight arm lock.
Oh.
Yep,
makes
they're
sense.
they're in side control. We showed how to pass the guard, and the guard is when your legs are around another person. So you're getting past them, and you're getting into side control, which is a more dominant position. And from the dominant position, you're taking advantage of the person's smaller joints, the arm. See how he's using his whole body to hold him down, and then manipulating that little joint right there.
And he can't. Yeah, he just tapped out. He
He's
couldn't
not
get
going
that
anywhere.
in.
We're teaching them how to hold an opponent down and submit them and get them to stop moving and get them to stop attacking safely. This is safe. We're not trying to harm anybody. We're just trying to protect ourselves.
No broken bones here. No.
Nope. We're just learning how to protect ourselves. We're actually just learning how to have fun. Everybody comes in here and has a good time. It's not so much focused on the self-defense every day because, like I said, that gets a little heavy. So we keep it a sport. It's a sport, jiu-jitsu, but in doing this sport, you're learning a very valuable self-defense and gaining all kinds of self-confidence in the interim.
Talking about the sport, you've actually been to quite a few competitions. Kind of, what are those like?
They're amazing. They're intense. They're everything. People are all amped up. Everybody's looking at each other. Everybody's, you're going to go against any one of these guys, and they're looking tough and they're looking mean, and it's exciting. You go and you either win or you learn. You don't lose. You go and you learn something about yourself every single time. Every single time you come here on the mat, you learn something about yourself.
You said it's really fast-paced. What is that like? Explain that.
It's somebody trying to dominate you. It's somebody trying to dominate you against your own will. So it's going fast. They're doing things that you don't necessarily want, and you have to learn how to react and do it intelligently. So you're not making many mistakes and putting yourself at risk. Like we said earlier, we're using anatomy to suggest that somebody go the direction we want because it takes the inherent risk out of us then. So it's an intelligent game. We're using anatomy and placement of our bodies to outwit another human being.
I guess there's just so many different techniques you can do. Do you come in here and teach a different technique every day? Is that how it works?
Pretty much, or we'll work on one for a day or two and then move on. It's an ever-evolving thing, so we'll learn something, and when everybody kind of has a gist of it, we'll move on to another portion.
Okay, well, Nick, this has been so interesting for me to learn, especially to watch. You're doing great here this morning, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.